Hello, guys. How are you doing? My name is Winfred, and welcome to this Friday night live chat. I'm so glad that you've tuned in. I'm just going to be sharing the link briefly with some people that would want to be on. So I hope you'll be patient with me on this one. I'm hoping, guys, that you've had a wonderful time. I ask that you give me those few minutes so that I can share the link. I couldn't share it before. So the only time I can is when we start. That's why we're taking those few minutes. So about 5 minutes, we'll be starting. I'm hoping that you have been well and you've had a pleasant week. And so far, Friday is not doing, you bad, but well. And we are officially going to set off now. And I'll say hello, 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 hi, guys. I'm so glad that you've tuned in and chosen this channel to spread your Friday night. Um, my name is Winfred, and welcome to the live podcast. Um, I hope you grab a bite and a drink, maybe a cup of tea or coffee. Those of you who are in a hot, cold weather, and those of you who are hot in hot weather, you can go ahead and grab some juice and let's hydrate as we chat Friday night away. Let me know who is watching, where you're watching in from, and those of you who are not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Together, let us chat. I need your opinions on this one. I need your take on this one, and I also want to know how your week went. Who is it that is watching, and where you're watching in from? This channel is an interesting one, guys. Just as we wait for others to come on board, it's dedicated to reading the Bible on a daily basis as the Holy Spirit leads. Those of you who have been wondering about what is it that is going on right now, well, it's dedicated to reading the Bible. But on Friday, we dedicated that to doing life. Life can throw you all sorts of things. But how do you cope in a crazy world, trying to juggle things here and there? How do you cope? That is one thing that we looked at and decided to do the live podcast. On Fridays, we talk about money, we talk about relationships, we talk about finances, investments, and everything in between. So think about it as long as it's decent. We'll address it on Friday. And while we talk about those things, it's deep work of research about certain topics, about certain things, and where it's possible, a guest is invited to the podcast to join. And maybe one of these days it could be you who would be joining us and we'll be discussing Friday. Otherwise, I would say, because I was waiting for the 5 minutes. Welcome, beautiful people. Welcome back to Digesting the Bible with Winfred, and where faith meets real talk. So tonight we are diving into a spicy but necessary topic. It's about love's biggest test: joint accounts versus separate accounts. What works best in a relationship or marriage? Now, this note is not only restricted to marriage, it's relationships or marriage. Today, we are diving into that biggest topic, the biggest test, if I may put it, of joint accounts versus separate accounts. What works best in a relationship or marriage? Because, guys, we all have our money and we all work hard to earn it. We all try as much as we can to ensure that we have it for the longest time, not today having it and tomorrow we have nothing. So that is the biggest test of love. I'm glad, Dina. Hello, my dear. Thank you so much. You're the first one today to tune in. I'm so glad that you've tuned in, and you are welcome. You are the first one. If we were to do a poll, you'd have won this type round. Normally, it's either TJ or Shaboya or Cedric, but you have won today. Thank you so much, my dear. I hope you've had a wonderful week. Let me know how your week has gone, whether you've had a wonderful time or things have not gone as expected. Yes, Rogers, good evening. Hey, Shaboya, hello, my dear. Guys, I'm so glad that you've tuned in. Rogers, today you've been among the first two people. So that means Dina beat you and you became the second. Shaboya normally is the first, but today she's the third. Guys, thank you so much for the support. You are so, so, so amazing. Like I said earlier, that you're welcome, guys, to Digesting the Bible with Winfred, where faith meets real talk. The reason why I say faith meets real talk is because this channel is dedicated to. Uh, Roger says, for me, I didn't get the voice. What is wrong with the voice? Is it whose voice didn't you get? My voice is not on. The sound. Oh, my sound is on, Roger. So what do you mean you didn't get the voice? Let me know what you meant. Otherwise, how was Friday, Rogers? How is it? How was your day, and how is your evening going? I'm made to understand you love football. I hope you had a good one and you're okay. And thank you so much, guys. Like I was saying, here, um, okay, Roger says now is okay. Thank you. I'm glad that you can hear me very well now. Well, I was saying that welcome back to Digesting the Bible with Winfred, where faith meets real talk. The reason why I say faith meets real talk is because here, during the week, we talk about the Bible from Genesis all the way up to Revelation. Dina says how week was fantastic. That is good to know. We talk, the essence of this channel is to read the Bible from Genesis up to Revelation, but Friday night is dedicated to live chats where we talk about life experiences, investments, finances, relationships, anything in between. As long as it's decent, we talk about it. And Roger says, where is our Lillian? I'm wondering as well. I hope she'll come on board soon. Lillian, we are wondering, where are you? Get on board. Cedric, TJ, where are you? Jasper, you are among the very first people that normally kickstart this. But today you've been beaten by Dina and Rogers. I hope you, Dina and Rogers, did come in the same vehicle and tuned in, because it's like you agreed, let's go on, and you all got on just like that. But I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful. Now, today we are diving into a spicy but necessary. Yeah, Audrey, where are you? We need to hear from you. Today we are talking about love's biggest test. Joint accounts versus separate accounts. What works best in a relationship or marriage? We are brothers. Okay. Okay, that's okay, but still brother and sister can come in together. There's no problem about that. Still brothers, sisters can come in together. It's not a crime, Dina. Otherwise, guys, Roger says voice. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Dina, is my sound okay? Roger keeps on saying my sound, my sound. Is my sound okay, guys? Anyone else listening in, let me know if my sound is okay or if it's not. Probably Roger's phone has issues. Dina, is the sound okay? Oh, you are neighbors. Okay. Dina, is my sound okay or is it not? Shaboya. Okay, Rogers, you need to do something about your sound. Mine seems to be okay, and Dina's is okay. Shaboya, if you could let me know if your sound is clear, and anyone else that is listening in. I can see 7 people have tuned in. Let me know if your sound is okay, so that I tell Rogers to buy a better phone or adjust accordingly. Yes, Cedric. Hello, my dear. How are you? Let me know if my sound is okay or if it's messed up because Rogers keeps on saying my voice. Okay. So, Rogers, the fault is with your gadget. I don't know what you're using to tune in, but whatever it is that you're using is the one giving you issues. Over here, the sound is good. So, try and adjust it and probably be able to. Maybe you can restart your gadget and start again. That way, you'll be able to get a better sound because over here it shows that my sound is okay. Rogers, no one said sleep. You adjust your phone and or gadget and tune back in. Don't sleep. And to be able to read these voice messages. And Cedric says sweet voice maybe. Ah, thank you, thank you. Anyway, guys, I want to know today what works best for you. Yeah, is it joint account versus separate accounts? What works best? Today is the topic of discussion, and I just need to hear from you. What is your take, Dina, on joint account versus separate accounts? What works best for you? You can drop a fire image in the chat if you are ready to learn, share, and even laugh a little. If you're ready to laugh, share, and laugh a little, go ahead and drop a fire image in the chat and I'll be able to know what works for you. This topic was decided on by you guys at the end of the last live podcast. Apologies, guys, for starters. Last week we were supposed to go on live, but as you all know, we are posting this from Uganda. Secret account, Rogers. Rogers, we are going to get deep in that. And by the end of the program, if you're still for secret account, I will support you. But if you're not, I'll be glad that you've made a different choice. Otherwise, guys, about last Friday, apologies. Power went off and it didn't come back until Sunday. So that was the reason why we didn't have power. That's the reason why we didn't have power, and that's the reason why the podcast was not on. Maybe it's a thing to think about. Maybe in future we need to buy solar panels so that we don't miss on our live chats. Otherwise, for now, we are under Umeme, and Umeme is the only one that decides whether we are on or off. So that Friday, it decided that it will go off, and it went off, and that was the end of it all. We waited, and there was no hope. Came back Sunday. We could have done it on Saturday, but we couldn't because still Saturday it was off. So I'm hoping that I've been forgiven and we are moving on. Praying, fingers crossed, that it doesn't happen again. Otherwise, I want to start with real life stories because behind every financial decision is a human experience. So I want us to start with the real life stories. Dina says, yeah, Dina Oli, yeah, Dina and Rogers. Okay, now I'm going to start with Rogers. He says, let's we change president. Mohozi is the better replacement. Okay, if that's your take, we'll take it like that. Otherwise, guys, I want to start with real life stories. A couple who went all in with joint accounts and built wealth together. Yeah, there's that couple that we'll dig deep into. It went in all with all their wealth and built wealth together. They went in with joint accounts, they put all their money together, and whatever they had was able to be multiplied and carried on to get them to greater wealth. But also, there is this woman who kept a secret stash like Rogers after being burnt. Uh, yeah, after being burnt financially. I don't know why Rogers you're saying secret account, but this woman had told her story. No joint accounts. Okay, so Dina is with Rogers. They are for separate accounts. Okay, but Rogers said separate accounts. Now, this woman kept a secret stash after being burnt financially. When she was married, she had put in all her money, and when she was actually not married, they were in a relationship, and when they broke up, the man took all the money because he was signatory to the money. So he went to the bank first, withdrew everything, and cleared the accounts, then called it quits with her. So after, from there on, for her, she's for a secret stash because she was burnt before and will not go back that way. Now, also, there is a man who insisted on separate accounts after a rough divorce. That one said, for me, don't tell me about joint accounts. I just want separate accounts simply because I've been married before. And when we separated, my wife took the biggest chunk because she had the kids and the courts of law were in support of her. So, guys, I want to know what works for you. Dina already says no separate accounts. I hope, Dina, you can defend that because everyone has, like I said, every financial decision is a human, behind every financial decision is a human experience. So, Dina, why would you say separate, no joint accounts? And Rogers, why would you say separate accounts? Like I said, behind every financial decision is a human experience. So I need to hear your experiences that drove you into saying separate accounts, secret accounts. I need to hear what drove you into saying that so that we can move forward. Rogers and Dina, back up your reasons for those accounts. I need to hear from you guys. I don't know whether Cedric is for separate accounts or for joint accounts, or Shaboya, if you're for separate accounts, joint accounts, or separate accounts. Let me know, guys, what your opinion is on this one. Gina says no joint accounts, and it is noted. Now, money doesn't find your life. Money does not find your life, guys. It reflects your trust, values, and fears. If you want to know someone's trust in a person, you test them with their money. Because if I trust you and I say I trust you, definitely my account will be open to you. But if I don't, guess what? That is a thing that you hear of but never get to see. Now, money also reflects your values. Because where your values are, that is where your money will go. Yeah? So we need to consider that as well. And also, money reflects your fears. If you're someone who is afraid of losing, you can always tell by the way they throw around their money. They are scared to buy things. Such people die when they have nothing. Why? Because they are guarding so much. They are not investing. And then they meet one person like this who is a crook that sweeps all their money clean off the accounts. So where do you fall, guys? I need to hear where do you fall because, like I said, money doesn't find your life. It reflects your trust, your values, and your fears. When I say trust, if you trust someone, you trust them with your money as well. And Cedric says joint account only if in committed relationship. Otherwise, if you're not sure, let me read this of your partner's commitment, then separate accounts. Brilliant, brilliant. At least you've defended your answer. Dina, I need to hear from you. Why did you say separate, no joint accounts? Rogers, why did you say separate accounts? That is what helps us grow and grow financially and make better relationships. Because if we don't know why someone is doing something, we always judge them and think they are wrong. But they've been burnt before. Guess what? This time round, they are protecting themselves. They've been bitten by the snake before. They said twice bitten. No, once bitten, twice scared. So because it happened once, now you take all the measures to make sure it does not happen again, or you are not taken for granted again. Now let's get deep into the nitty-gritties of why do some couples swear by joint accounts? Why is it some couples say, for me, don't tell me anything different, I want a joint account? Why do some couples swear to that? Because there are those couples that really swear, for me, if it's not joint account, there's nothing that I want. Why? Or you don't love me if you're not going to share your money with me, or we are not together if money is going to keep us apart. There are those couples that, look at money that way. So where do you fall? Yeah, I want us to go to the nitty gritties. But before we go that far, I need to know from the rest of the viewers where you fall. And also, as we get into the nitty gritties, why do some couples swear by joint accounts? Roger says, please someone assist me with earphones so that I can chat with you. Rogers, how can they send them over? They cannot send them over right now. Why? Because unless you want them via Bluetooth, maybe Dina can send you earphones via Bluetooth. Otherwise, I don't know what's happening with your phone, Rogers. Sorry about that, my dear. Maybe if you have a TV or you have a laptop, you can switch or restart your phone and see if it gets better. If you've not been having that problem initially, a problem of hearing when someone calls, then maybe you need to put your volume up or go ahead and adjust some things. I don't know what's happening with your phone. Sorry, Rogers. Sorry, Rogers, about that. I hope that is adjusted and works for you immediately. Otherwise, those are the areas we are going to cover today about money. Rogers, as you try and work on your earphones, because we are here for a good 2 hours. Since it's Friday and you have nowhere you're going, I'm hoping that that can be sorted and you can hear very well. Otherwise, those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, welcome back to Digesting the Bible with Winfred, where faith meets real talk. Tonight, we are diving into a spicy but necessary topic, where we are talking about love's biggest test, joint accounts versus separate accounts. What works best in a relationship or marriage? That is what we are going to be looking at. You can drop a fire image in the chat if you are ready to learn, share, and even laugh a little. It's Friday. It's time to unwind and put down those, tough things that have been in the week and, laugh a little. I want to start with real life stories like we started before, because behind every financial decision is a human experience. A couple who went into all in with their finances into joint account and built wealth together. Then there's going to be also a scenario of a woman who kept a secret stash after being burnt financially. There is also a man who insisted on separate accounts after a rough divorce. Now, money doesn't find your love. It reflects, yeah, your trust. Why do I say money reflects your love, your trust? Because if you trust someone that much, you'll be able to put money together and go for joint accounts. But if you don't trust someone, you will not do that. Now, we will look at money also reflects your values. If you're someone who values certain things, your money will reflect it because that's where your money will go. But if you're not with the right person, you find I want to buy land. This one wants to eat out all the time. I want to build. This person wants us to go on holiday. Values are different, so that at times may not work very well. But that's one way you can tell about a person where their values are. And also fears. Money can reflect your fears. If you're someone who is afraid of becoming poor, you see that person investing their money, trying to make sure that their money works for them and they work smart. Now, let's go deep into the nitty-gritties of why do some couples swear by joint accounts. Now, we are going to talk about the pros of joint account. There is transparency and trust. Where there is a couple, whether you are married or not, and you have a joint account, there is transparency and trust. Why? For starters, because you've put your money with me, guess what? I will know you trust me, and so I'll also come all in. But if I don't see you coming with your money and putting it with me, guess what I'll do? I will run away from you because I know there's no permanent sense here. Now, also, it promotes transparency. Why? If we need to say like there are bills in a relationship. You need to pay for power, you need to pay for water, you need to buy food, you need to cater for transport. If the finances are all in the clear, I mean it's clear how much James earns and how much Jackie earns. You put it together. It is foolish of Jackie to ask for money for hair that is almost half of what you've put together. It is actually foolishness. But if I know how much you're earning and you know how much I earn and we put it together, guess what? I will not spend it ridiculously because I'll be very careful. I will be picky on what we will actually sit down on every, spending to make sure the money is spent right. But if we do not, guess what happens, guys? If there is no joint account, I will assume you have money, yet you don't. Guys, it's a live chat and you're welcome on board. Those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, go ahead and drop in the comments what your take is. Joint accounts versus separate accounts. What works best? And why are you choosing that particular kind of account? I'm just going to read a few comments that have just come in. Dina says, we have different spending habits which may lead to arguments over money. So that's why Dina says no joint accounts. And Dina continues to say, joint accounts lead to lack of financial independence, which may lead to relying too much on spouse financially, something I'm not comfortable with. Now that is Dina's opinion. Go ahead, guys, drop your comments as to why you would go for a particular kind of account. On this channel, on Friday, we talk about life experiences. Now, today, we are talking about separate accounts versus joint accounts. What works best and why? Now, Dina has given her points, but I was still giving reasons for joint account because joint accounts also have their own reasons. It's easier financial planning. When you put all your money together in a relationship, you can plan better. Rogers says, never trust anyone with money, even if you are your wife, daddy, mommy, sister, brother, it is never. That is Rogers' take. And I think Rogers can give us his reasons for that. Because like I said, behind every financial decision is a human experience. Rogers is probably talking from an experience where he was beaten or burnt before. And that is why he's saying that. So let me know what you think. It's a live chat. Go ahead and drop in the comment section. Let me know who is watching, where you're watching in from. And if it works for you to go joint account, separate account, or um, secret account, like someone mentioned there. Now, for me, I was saying it's a joint account leads to easier planning. Because imagine you put your money, I bring my money, we put it together, and then plan this month we'll pay for rent for 2 months and pay for power for this period and water. The next month we are like, we'll buy ourselves saucepans. Next month, even whether you're married or not, whether it's just any relationship, I think it's easy, it makes it easier to plan because you know exactly how much the other person has, as opposed to living with someone on assumption. Some people who keep their finances separate, when it comes to us ladies, guys, now this is for the guys, we tend to think you have more than you actually do. And so we spend and spend and spend until you have no more. And because you men have a tendency of coming off as though you have too much when you're trying to woo this girl and get her to like you, you're spending, taking her out for lunch, dinner, breakfast, spoiling her with presents. We tend to assume that he's got it covered with the money. He's got no issues with money. Yet, you actually don't. But if we put a joint account, I will not spend on assumption. I will spend knowing exactly how much that we have. And that will keep us from financial stress or struggle. But I also want to read a comment that has just come in. Those of you who are dropping by, it's a live chat. Go ahead, drop in the comment section. Let me know what you think about joint accounts versus separate accounts. What is best? Roger says, I'm watching from Bunamwaya Ewaka Tikiro. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Rogers, you're very much welcome. And BCM Uganda, hello. Yes, that's what Rogers says. Anyhow, the other point about joint accounts, the advantage of joint account, it promotes teamwork. Why do I say it promotes teamwork? Because in case you bring your money, I bring my money, we buy the car. Guess what? We will know that we bought that money with our money together. And guess what? We will value that car. If it is to service it, we'll take care of it. As opposed to a relationships that I've seen where a woman gets married to a man, he's already built, already bought the car, and you just come with your head and looks. Yes, that is a deadly place to be because when things fall apart, you will get out of that house, out of that car with the bag that you came with because you contributed nothing towards the buying of all these assets or acquiring of all these assets. So me, I say that it's easier, yeah, to be in a relationship. It promotes teamwork if you have a joint account and thereon develop yourselves together. Another thing is it helps with accountability. If all money was put together, spending it wouldn't be recklessly, whereby you just wake up, I want to eat chikalai, I want to, go shopping, go do my nails unnecessarily. A secret to every man that is listening in, I hope Rogers, Cedric, and any other gentleman that is listening in, is one way for sure you can know someone loves you, a girl loves you. She will not work so hard to make sure your money gets finished. She will try and protect you. Try and make sure you spend less. Spend less because she loves you and sees a future with you. But a person who does not see a future with you, guess what they will do? They will be wanting to deplete you and make sure everything you have is finished. I mean, I know of some people who, a couple, where the lady was not, one sign, clear sign for me that she wasn't interested is she never invested in the relationship. Came into the relationship, found nothing, guys tend to slack a bit. They don't buy these house things very well. They don't work towards building a home. Roger says chikarai. Goodness. Yeah, there are ladies who are after eating for today and enjoying today as opposed to, a life of goodness and comfort. If you work together, you can attain that. But if you are with this kind of woman who is just out to suck you dry, Rogers, if you happen to see a woman like that, she doesn't love you. One who loves you will make sure she buys you that shirt. Is like, don't spend on me money for transport. I'm good. I does her hair without even giving her the money because she wants you to save as much and be able to do much with her than spend it out. But a woman who is not in it for keeps will spend your money every weekend going out to the hair salon, doing her nails. My auntie fell sick. My uncle is in the he came to visit. My stepbrother is in prison. We need to bail him out. Excuses after excuses. But one that loves you will be like, no, I'm good. I have the transport. I have the money. I'll just come. Don't worry. Then you say you don't have food in the house. She'll be like, oh, I'll come with something. No need to worry. But one who does not buy chikalai, buy chips. And Roger says, for me, I don't like a woman. A woman. I mean, let me read properly what Rogers just said. I'm in love with money, money, money. That is Roger's take. He loves money and he has made it clear he wants money. Guys, you have heard it from Rogers. You have to have money. But anyway, on a serious note, yeah, we were talking about joint accounts, shared financial goals and sacrifices. If you have a joint account, you will have shared goals. You will be aiming for the same goal. Say, like today, you say we don't have a gas cooker. We'll be aiming to save and buying one next month. Then you put money together and buy that gas cooker. Then the next month, you're like, now we need to go treat ourselves to something good, maybe like a day out. It's shared financial goals and sacrifices, whereby if you say we are not spending, it's okay with you, the guy, and it's okay with the woman. But if you don't have a joint account, I'm assuming you're blowing this money somewhere and you're just giving me leftover money. Yet actually, you may not have money. And what you're giving me is all that you have. But because we don't have a joint account, I can assume you have, but you're just being stingy and blowing this money with some other people. Now, examples, a couple that overcame poverty together. Yeah. Truth joint budget. Sorry, they overcame poverty together through a joint budget. Rogers says, let's create a joint account. You and Dina Rogers, create a joint account, that's okay. Otherwise, scriptures like Mark 10:8, yeah, the two shall become one flesh. Does this apply to finances too? I wanted to ask. For those of you who are Christians that are tuning in, there is that scripture that says that two shall become one. Does that apply to finances as well? Because if it does, then why is money creating the rift between us? Why is it because of money? You have yours and I have mine, but we're sleeping in the same bed. Guys, that's a deadly place to be. Because if I can trust you with my health, why not my account? Think about it. If I can trust you with my health, same applies to my finances. Do you think joint accounts build more trust or more tension? I would love to hear from you. Barakat, oh my goodness, thank you so much for tuning in. Good evening, my dear. I have been wanting to talk to you for a long time, but I'm glad that you've tuned in. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you so much, Barakat. Otherwise, guys, do you think joint accounts would build more trust or more tension? That is also something that I would want to hear from you about. Because on a flip side, not every believer believes that mine is yours and yours is mine. They've got their reasons. There are those who don't believe in sharing everything together but are married. Yeah? Now, we'll talk about also the advantages of separate accounts because, like Dina said, separate accounts do work. Financial independence, like Dina said. When you have your money, you are free to go do what you want, whenever you want, eat what you want. That's the advantage of separate accounts. But the reason why I would not support separate accounts, guys, is because today you have money, I have money, and then tomorrow you don't have. Like the situation is in Uganda. I don't know about you guys, but men tend to run out of jobs quickly and easily. I don't know about you, Rogers, but men run out of jobs easily and quickly. And these women, if you've not observed, are driving the biggest cars. They are living in these apartments. They are living the it life, while the men cannot even show up anywhere. Now, the reason for why I wouldn't support separate accounts is while we had separate accounts and lived in the same house, you were working. Now we have separate accounts. I'm working, you're not. How are we going to deal with things here? So that's why for me, separate accounts are not the thing. So we need to look at it in a wiser sense, in a wiser way or sense, because in case one of you is to lose the job, the other one will feel really, really terrible about not being able to financially meet their needs, because initially that was not set where you had a joint account and money was from there that catered to everything, whether it was hair, food, nails, servicing of the car, transport, phone, WhatsApp or data, whatever it is that your bills are involved. Yeah. Now you need to think about it carefully before you vouch for separate accounts, because much as it promotes financial independence, it's got also that scare about it. Because in case you run out of job, you will not be in position to you'll not be in position to enjoy the same liberties with someone that you were not sharing with sharing with money. So think about it carefully as you're vouching for you know separate accounts, because it is not so easy, guys, like you think. Now, financial independence is so true, but also this risk in case of breakups or debt. Cedric says, hello, BCM. Hey, hi guys. Thank you so much. It's a live chat. Those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, go ahead and drop in the comment section what your take is. Is it joint account or separate account? What is it that works for you? And salam, Keme Hadika, Beriket. Salam Keme Hadika. Yeah. Otherwise, less risk in case of breakups or debts. In case you break up with this partner, say like you're in a relationship, some people look at it as being safe to have separate accounts, because in case you break up, it is safe. You don't have to worry about, closing these accounts, trying to keep your finances in one place. In case the other one goes and acquires a debt, you will not be spending your money on a debt you didn't acquire. So that it seems safe. But to me, the pros on joint accounts outweigh the ones on separate accounts. But we are still going. I'll hear from you and get to know what your opinion is at the end of it all. Also, another reason, it prevents arguments over small expenses. If you are, say, like you want to get that shoe, you go to a shop and you happen to see, like a shoe and you want it, you just buy it because you have your separate accounts. So you're using your money to buy what you want. But that kind of living is not progressive, is not one that builds a future. I'll tell you stories as we continue about the dangers of separate accounts. They are good because of financial independence, like we said. They are good because of the less risk in case of breakups or debts, prevents arguments over small expenses. So like you choose to go and treat your girlfriends out to a dinner. You look at it as a small expense, but it's going to weigh down your relationship. If you are in a relationship and one person is a spender, everything to a spender seems small and seems good. And they don't see why they shouldn't do it anyway. After all, it's their money. After all, money is there to do it. Now, the danger of that is because not all days are equal, guys. Today you may have money, tomorrow you don't. You need to have something, some safety net to fall back on in case things fall apart. Now, if you are not with joint accounts, I've seen it where a man had his big job and was getting his good money. I'll first read Dina's comment before I continue. As I work alone, so I expect up and Let me read Dina's comment. As I work alone, so I expect up and failures which imagine alone, and they are not pinned. So no way I add my money to people who change like weather. That's what Dina thinks, that she wouldn't add her money to people who change like weather. Like I said, behind every financial decision is an experience. So Dina has got practical experience on that one. That is why that is her take. But going back to this, probably Dina, like she said before, she works hard to get her money. She's not going to spend it on people who change like weather. But that's her take. At the end of the day, you listen to all takes and choose which one works for you and which one would work for your relationship. Uh, I was telling you of a story of a man who had a big job and had a big account and met this girl and they got into a relationship. They were not married. And this girl said, can we put money together? Or can I, keep my own money and you keep yours? The man said, I don't have use for your money. Keep it to yourself. I'll run everything. So the girl was glad that she didn't have to worry about finances while she worked at her small, quote unquote, job, her job, like we call it. Now, the man was not aware that where the lady had worked for years, she had been promoted from being on a lower level where she started off from to where she was qualified to work. And she kept on coming home. The man kept on thinking she's earning the same money she used to earn years ago while she had been promoted over the years. Now, time came and the woman was investing her money. She would send it to her father. Even when Roger said she doesn't trust relatives, she would send it to her father, and then her father built for her apartments. And he first built a house, then built apartments, and kept on earning money from the apartments because they were renting somewhere with her husband, because the husband was showing off that he was in good position to, take care of every expense of the girl and home. So later on, they had a child and another child, but still the order was the same. Your money is yours, mine is mine is ours. So when his job ran out, he got really to a point where he wanted to downsize from the apartment where they were renting to a smaller place that would be a bit cheaper. So he told the wife, the girlfriend said, okay, I found a house that we can rent. And he took the whole family, which is her husband, her boyfriend, and her partner, and two children to that house. And the man kept on looking for rent and paying the girl, and the girl was on his case every single time to make sure that rent is paid on time. Dina says, Sisovola, last time you said money talk, no love. Ndeka. In other words, Dina says she can never add her money with a man. No money, no talking. So to her, that is her take. But as we continue with the story, the girl kept on pestering the man and saying the landlord needs that money or effective on the 31st. The man could not slack. It had to be paid and paid on time. So the man would look for rent regardless. And she kept on insisting we need to pay 3 months in advance, 3 months in advance. So by the time the third month is up, she's already collected another 3 months from the man. But the man was hustling to try and meet the rent bill. It's much later, while he was at his lowest because he had no job, that the woman went to the bathroom to wash, and the man looked at the phone. The father had sent a message saying, regarding the apartments, we finished, but now we need to buy a truck for your brother so that he can also have something to do and be able to sustain himself so that he does not depend on you or anyone. So they were planning to buy him a sand truck. You know those ones that ferry sand and stone or rocks or stones or hardcore from one place to another. Those are the ones the father was wondering that the sister could buy for the brother And once the husband saw, he said, okay, he put the phone down and deleted the message. So the father calls later and says, did you get the message? I was telling you the apartments were finished. Now that you have the apartments and you have in that house where you're living, can you do something for your brother? So the man, to cut the story short, got really annoyed and went to her place of work. But before that, the girl had also told her boyfriend that she came home with a car because now that she was promoted, promotion came with a car and a laptop and a new phone. So when she got home with them, the partner was like, "Where did this come from?" He said, "They gave them to me because I need to do work sometimes at home. And as for the car, they told me that I can use it so that I stop coming late at work." And yet it was her car. She had bought it with her own money. It's only when he went to her place of work and found and went asking, "Can I speak to Rose?" And they told her Rose was the say like the assistant HR or something like that. And they told her Rose is not assistant HR. She's one of the managers. Actually was promoted years ago, and the man was in shock. But guess what? He got home, told her, "Could you be promoted?" And the man gave him all the information about how much she earns and what comes with that position that she had got. So, guys, that's an alert to all of us. Excuse me, that things could change up. Today you could be okay and you don't need my money and you're okay with separate accounts. What happens if you lose your job and I've got mine? Would the relationship stand? What happens if I keep my job and you lose yours, or you keep yours and I lose mine? Would we still be at the same, you know, level while reasoning in relationship, or would it change up a few things? So with that in mind, let us, choose wisely what kind of account works for us. It's a live chat. Go ahead, drop in the comment section what your take is about joint accounts or separate accounts. What works best and what would you go for? Because we all have what works for us and reasons why we go for those. Another advantage of separate accounts, it is easier to manage pre-existing financial responsibilities. An example, say like I was supposed to take care of my parents and I'm the one supposed to meet their needs. It is easier if I have a separate account. But guess what? There is nothing also that stops me from having a joint account and discussing it with my partner so that we can plan for our relatives to spend certain amount of money on them. So either way, it works. But the advantage of separate accounts is it is easier to manage some pre-existing financial responsibilities. Like you had responsibility of taking care of your siblings, or there's someone you are giving money, a certain amount of money every month for whatever reason. It is easier to continue doing that if you have separate accounts in a relationship, as opposed to when you're in a relationship and you have a joint account, because then money is put together and spent together and needs to be accounted for in case there is child support, in case there is student loans. It is easier with separate accounts. Now, a second married couple that I talked to who agreed on a separate finances to avoid drama. That is what they were saying. That if you want to avoid drama, use separate accounts, because that way everyone is responsible for their own money. But guys, that is very deadly. It is a deadly state to be, because you live with this person, you sleep with this person. Why would you allow money to come between the two of you where you don't want to put it together? Unless you don't really think you should be with this person. But if you think you should be with together, then think twice. Unless you are not, like Cedric said, you don't know much about the commitment of your partner. But if you do, and you see they have the same financial values, there is trust, and you just go on and try it. It could help a relationship. First Timothy 5:8 says, provide for your own. Does that mean personal responsibility first? Roger says that's why I support separate accounts. Rogers is still for separate accounts. And who am I to, change his mind about that? But who here has a separate account? Rogers is in support of it, but I want to know, it's a live podcast, guys. Who among us has a separate account and how has it worked out for you? If you're in a relationship and you have a separate account, how has it worked out for you? Has it helped or hurt your relationship? I just need to know. Because the moment I get to know that you have a separate account, all along I thought we had one account, and then I get to know you've had money on the side. It does hurt a bit getting to know that you had money on the side as opposed to, keeping it all together. Dina says, when I have separate accounts, there is individual saving goals achieved, and then I'll read Dina's comment. There is individual saving goals achieved, and there are individual policies achieved easily. I know, separate accounts. I know, but have you heard of the saying two are better than one? Because the Bible, there's that saying two are better than one. I mean, if I have 5,000 and you've got three, together we have 8. Guess what? If we are going to buy food and food costs 3,000, we will not be only able to buy 3,000, because if you have 5 and I have 3, if I used my 3 on food, I would not have money to do something else. But if I put mine with yours, we'll not only be able to buy food, but maybe also buy sauce, buy charcoal, pay rent, pay for water, pay for power. Really, that's how I see it, that 2 are better than 1. Now, there is the hybrid model as well. The best of both worlds. What if I told you there is a third option, which is middle ground, called yours, mine, and ours? There is that middle ground as well, where you're in a relationship, you have what is yours, I have what is mine, and we have what is ours, where I don't bring all my money to that pool, but we can decide that every month you bring a certain amount of money. Nowadays, when men are tourists, I'm wondering what they are touring dinner. I'm wondering what they are touring. But there's that third option, which is called the hybrid model, where there's what you have your money, you keep it as you, and then I keep mine as mine, and then we have some money that we put together every month to make sure that we meet bills in the middle. Whereby if I'm earning 1 million, you're earning 3 million, you bring some money. So like 300, I bring 300, you put it in a pool, and that is supposed to sort all the bills. If there is power bill, we sort using that pool money. If there is water bill, we sort using that pool money. That is the hybrid model. I don't know how many people are in support of that. The hybrid approach, one joint account for bills and shared goals. Men have third parties, they invest in their money. Oh, that's what you mean. Well, I'm yet to hear from the men out there. What does really work for you? Guys, it's a live chat. Go ahead and drop in the comment section. Let me know who it is that is watching, where you're watching in from, and what your take is. Are you for joint accounts or separate accounts, or for the hybrid one where we have yours, mine, and ours in that relationship? 3 accounts where we each have our freedoms to do what we want with our money. But there's this money that we put together that is supposed to help meet bills. That is also there. Personal accounts for individual spendings and monthly budget meetings. Tools like budget apps to stay accountable for that joint account that you have, because you have what is yours. Say like you earn 5 million. And you keep your 5 million, but only give 1 million to that pool account. And then I earn 3 million. I bring 1 million, I put it to that account. Together we have 2 million, but we each have our individual money that we retain. That is the hybrid type. Uh, it combines transparency with independence because you're independent, you're free to do with your money what you want because it stays as yours. But then you maintain what is also yours, and then we have that one we use to cater for the bills. So like we are renting a beautiful apartment, you bring your 1 million, I bring my 1 million, and we put it together. Once we do that, then if it is rent, the rent is supposed to come from that money that is in the pool, power, water, food, transport, whatever it is that we need comes from that pool money. The other money that we retain is for us to feel free to do as we please. Now, those are some things that people take. There's the hybrid model, and there are people who go for it. Dina says hybrid accounts never prosper because Dina, oh my goodness, because people are not transparent to each other. That is also true because I could tell you I earn 3 million and then bring to the pool uh, 1 million, and yet actually I earn 8. And then for you earn 2 and you bring 1 million and you're left with 1, only to find out I earn much, much, much more than that. But I bring only 1 million because that's what you're bringing to the table. They never prosper, true. But to some, again, like I said, there's some people that it has worked for. So we are going to look at the benefits of the hybrid one. It combines transparency and independence. Those of you who want your independence with your money, where you're free to do what you want with your money, the hybrid one is for you because there is ours, yours, and my account. It works for some. And another advantage, they say, it reduces tension over spending habits. There are some people who like spending. I went visiting some couple, and each time the lady was online shopping. From the time we got there to the time we left, I wonder how many things she orders for. And these days, ordering, you just, a tap away and things are at your doorstep. But she was ordering napkins, ordering forks, and most of the things that she was ordering for were personal effects. She was going for lip gloss, nail polish, you know, uh, nice things that would only help in a relationship with her, but not the whole relationship. So if you want a relationship that will go far, I think it is best to go for joint account. Really, what God has put together, no man should put asunder. So not even money should come between us when it comes to relationships that will stand. One way you will be guaranteed of having someone with you is knowing who it is that you're involved with. Some people are okay, but I've never seen a woman who loves a man and spends her money, spending it recklessly. I've never. All of them trying to guard. And when they see other ladies trying to flock around the man, they are like, they're after our money. That is a gold digger. Because she loves this man and is worried about how he spends that money. So if you're a man out there and you don't know if a woman loves you, see and gauge basing on how freely she allows you to spend money on her. There is some story they were telling me about a couple. The man had a first girlfriend who was a spender all the time, spending, spending, spending. And they broke up because she was spending too much. Then he found a girl who was an accountant that was the opposite of the other one. She didn't want to spend anything. And the man kept on saying, I've given you my account, my card, go ahead and use it. And the woman said, if you let me start working, then I'll allow you to spend, I'll allow you to spend money on me. Otherwise, if I'm not working, I'm not going to be spending your money carelessly. We need to reserve it because in case something happens to your job, that's the end of it for us. And the man was really, really baffled about her not wanting to spend. So a woman who loves you will ensure you spend less of that money and plan for tomorrow. But one who is in for today and out tomorrow, will make sure they milk you dry until there's blood dropping out of you. Why? Because they don't care about tomorrow. Tomorrow they can always find someone else. But as long as they are here with you today, they want to spend and spend and spend. So one eye opener, guys, it's the way she blows your money. If she's always going every weekend to do hair, nails, facials, massage, spas, all those things, she's not in it for the long run. She's in for the short run. So make your choices quickly and see what to do about it. The other advantage of hybrid accounts, it reduces tension over spending habits. There are people who like to spend. That one we dealt with, I've explained. And it encourages mutual respect. I see you came home with a new handbag when you shopped even last week. And you got a bag still last week. Every week you're getting a bag. I will respect you because it's your money. You worked hard to get it. And you contributed to what we agreed on spending on. So it encourages mutual respect. We start respecting each other. If I'm one who loves shoes and I'm buying shoes every weekend, you understand me because that's what I prefer, that's what is important to me. And so you respect me that way because I bought my contribution, which was the money that goes to the joint. And Dina says, if tomorrow never comes, where will be my money? Are you saying where will your money be if you have a hybrid approach? Because if that's what you're worried about, the hybrid approach is you get your money, I have my money, and together we bring a certain percentage to a pool or an account. I bring, say, like you earn 200,000, I earn 300. I bring 150, you bring 150. Together, that's 300. Now, the 300 is the one that is going to meet bills. We need to fix the car. We need to pay rent. We need to pay for power. We need to pay for water. Not one person has to foot the bill, but it's all of us. So there's no way you can doubt tomorrow coming because those bills will will come up every month. So you'll find that that pool money is always used up every single time. But that kind of relationship as well, guys, is not so much developmental. It is not. Because anything that we want to get to in life, we have to save for. I know there are those who are born into things where you wake up and you're living in this big house. Those are the few among us. Some of us have to really plan and save if we want to have a good life. Now, if you want to plan, save, and have a good life, guess what you do? You marry someone who is wise, or you relate with someone who is wise and does not and has the same values like you. They have to have the same values like you. That, like, if you want to buy land, they feel the same weight about buying land. If you want to build, they feel the same way about it. They have the same values, yeah, same goals. Because if those are not the same, you will be pulling towards this side and the other person will be pulling towards this side. And guess what? You can never ever be able to bring something together and create a beautiful thing. So guess what you do? You have to let go of that person. Otherwise, it won't work. It won't work. So that's why I'm for joint account. Joint accounts ensure long-term relationships. Why? Because if I've invested so much in a relationship with you, I will think twice before leaving you. There are some who don't mind leaving, but I'll think twice because of what we've put in to make this work, to make this a beautiful thing. So, because I brought and you brought and we bought land, I will respect you. I will honor you. I will value you. But if you came with nothing but a set of a set of what you know is what, and you just came into my house after I had struggled to make it in life, I will not value you. So joint will ensure valuing of each other, yeah, and things I think will turn out different from when you have separate or came in with the hybrid approach. There are examples. A couple that uses joint account for rent, groceries. Yeah, there is that couple that I noted. They use the joint account. Like Dina, you are saying that if tomorrow never comes, then what? That joint account is not something you keep for the future. It is for now and anything that rises in between. Now, there is this couple that uses the joint account for rent, to buy groceries. I'm talking onions, tomatoes, bread, sugar, soap, those things, and giving. So, like they're in church and or they want to give out to family members, to give out on weddings, birthdays, contribute. They use that joint account to do those things. But personal accounts for hobbies, their personal accounts. Like Dina, you have your money, I have my money, and we have this joint account where we use that money to buy things at home. But my hobbies, I fund them using the personal account. So there are couples that do it that way. Now, we are going to also look at it at the faith angle because this channel, guys, is Bible based. Now, we are going to look at it at the faith angle. In Romans 14:12, it says, each of us will give an account. Maybe separate finances help with that personal accountability. It says we shall all give an account of whatever it is that we have done. Yeah, that is a scripture that is out there, but there are some who stop in the way that we shall all give, and they stop there. Now, I'll go to the expert opinion because the faith area, you need to know that what God has put together, nothing should separate you. Really, nothing should separate us. And Dina says nowadays marriage is for contract. So hybrid and joint account can't apply to me. Okay. Because when we grow, did we tend to find because when we grow old, we tend to find our right lives to live. So you mean our interests change as we grow? True, but normally when we are growing up, if you live with someone and you create things that will help ensure a permanent, a future, that kind of relationship is likely to last. As opposed to a relationship where you don't involve me. Guys, me, I'm giving out pointers. I don't know who is watching, but like I said, it's a live chat. Go ahead, drop in the comment section. Let me know who is watching, where you're watching it from. This is what I'll tell you guys. If a woman is in a relationship with you and does not know how much you're earning, we women are created in a way where we just know how to spend. That is why the Bible, I'll get into that later, but we want to show off. If I'm with my fellow girls, I want to show them my husband got me this, he can afford these other things we brag about. But if I know how much exactly my man earns or how much we have put together, I will not go hang out with people who spend money on hair every week when it's not necessary. I can wear the same hair over and over and over until I can afford it. But if I don't know how much you're earning, which is a tendency for most men, you men tend to show us like money is not a problem. And so we spend and we spend and spend until you have nothing else to give. And we see the house taken, or they throw us out of the house, the car is gone because it broke down and you couldn't fix it. It is key that we live transparently. And one way of living transparently is having a joint account where you put all your money together. I will spend wisely because I know exactly how much we have. But if I don't know, I will be on assumption. He's got it. He's got it. He will get it anyway. He always does get it. And I don't know the hassle or half of what you go through to meet my ridiculous needs. So for me, any man out there, I would advise. And there's also another friend who told me that when I was talking about joint account, she said, it's because you don't know how much my husband earns. Because if you knew, you would not even suggest this. He earns way, way, way too much. So there's no way he can bring his money to the table. And I was like, so does that mean those who earn a lot of money should not put their money with those that don't? Because there's nothing that is constant. Today you're earning a lot. Tomorrow you may not, because we depreciate at some point. Except maybe if you've God has helped you somehow, and your trend of money just keeps on going up and up and up and up and up. But if it does not, and it starts at a certain place and then starts going down, yeah, you need to be prepared for going down, because once it goes down, how are you going to be able to sustain that lifestyle? So money needs to be put together and used wisely. That way, if it is investment, it's together investment. If you hope to live with this person longer, that is where it comes, this whole thing comes in. If you're looking for a partner in life, don't only just go looking for for looks. Also go looking for brains, because this person will add to you to some degree and will see things the same way you see them. Normally, men have today I'm up on men. Normally, men have a tendency of getting girls that are way beneath them. You are a qualified person and you go for someone way beneath you, doesn't even have a P7 certificate, you know, or high school certificate. I'm not saying you should segregate, but we should also look at our levels when we are looking for partners, because the kind of person you get will determine whether you flow to greater heights, because women are made to build. The Bible says that a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one brings it down, breaks it down, and she wakes up in the morning and fills her house with good things. So our spending as ladies should be spending towards building our houses, building our families, so that we are progressively advancing, not going down the drain. Men tend, have you noticed? I don't know about how many gentlemen are listening in, but men tend not to spend much on themselves. At least the ones that I know don't. You'd find they can't even buy themselves boxers or undergarments, and yet they work so hard and give these ladies weekly money, monthly money, to spend as they want. We are always doing that, looking fine, while our men are going down the drain, and yet they are the ones working so hard to make sure we look amazing. So if we put this money together in a pool, this is just my advice now. If we put our money together, all our money, I'm going for joint account. If we put all our money together, guess what happens? We would sit down and be like, what needs to be sorted? You need new socks, you need new undergarments, you need roll on, you need to smell nice. That way, your man is in top condition, you are looking top, and the both of you just get out and you're looking amazing. But if you have separate accounts, men tend not to care so much about themselves, except for a few who are after how they look. But normally, that's when the ladies come in and help the men to become something, to adore, something to admire, something to love. It is us who make you look that way. But if a woman is also selfish in a way and there's no joint account, the woman will look fine, 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 while the man is going down the drain, not looking anything but stressed. So for me, I would go for joint accounts. Like I said, it's a live podcast. Go ahead, drop in the comment section what your take is. What is it that works for you? Would you go for joint accounts, separate accounts, or hybrid? And I need to know who is watching. Dina says we are supposed to be flowers. That's what money is for. Oh my goodness. And what do you do to flowers? You trim them, you cut them, you water them. That is how Dina looks at things. So in case you're interested in someone, I don't know whether Dina is single, you could, and you're looking for someone to spend on, go ahead and try Dina. Otherwise, I spoke to a financial coach who shared this most common money mistakes couples make. She shared some most common, money tips that couples make. Because once we've just met, You're interested in me, I'm interested in you. There are some mistakes that are so common that couples make when they've just met. And there are tips for newly weds as well. So if you're interested, you need to stay tuned and get to hear them. How to talk about money without fighting. Those are things that she talked about. Does the Bible support financial structure over another? Now, your chance to ask this person was not theirs because I met this person, I asked, I'm hoping I well represented you. And this person said, when you are newly married, there are things that we should talk about when we are dating or courtship. That's a period between before the ring is placed on your finger and the actual date of putting the ring. That is when you talk substance. You need to talk about money. Yeah? Talk about money early. That is what she said. Because if you don't talk about money early, it will be hard to talk about it once the relationship is far gone. Because, like, you have a new cloth, you want to wear it all the time. But after some time, you start finding faults with it. Even before it was fitting right, looking right, you know. But after some time, you start saying, when it wasn't fitting so well by the knee, it was tight at the armpits, but yet at the beginning it was fine. So some of these things that are key, like I said, these are tests for relationships. Money is a test for relationships. So if you're going to deal with money in a relationship, you need to talk about it early. That's what she said. That if you don't talk about money early uh, and set expectations clearly, you need to be clear on money because that can drive relationships apart. If certain things are not talked about straight away, if certain things are not considered early on in a relationship, you cannot bring them up. If you didn't say you want money put together while we were dating, you cannot start after we've married and then you start seeing me because you got to know that I was promoted and you start wanting me to bring money so that I can start paying for the food. No, that it doesn't work like that. She advised that talk about money early. How would you want it spent? Are you going joint? Are you going separate? Are you going hybrid? Because if you're going hybrid, then that also needs to be clear. Those are the things that we need to talk about when we are newlyweds or when we are looking to get to settle down with someone. Set your expectations clearly. I expect you to be the one to pay for this. I expect you to do that, to do this, because once that is not clear, and then we get into a relationship, switching roles where it was you paying for the bills, paying rent, giving money for hair, giving money for nails, and then you stop. It can be read differently with us ladies. We tend to think maybe you stopped loving me. Maybe you don't love me anymore because you're not doing those things you used to do while you were interested in me. So, to avoid all that, guess what, guys, happens? You talk, set expectations clearly. And she also said to review your financial systems regularly. What system have you put in place? If you put in place to have your account, my account, and our account, review it regularly. See how it's working. Has it worked? If it has not, what do we do from here? Because if you agreed to bring each 1 million every month, and that money is not enough to cater for expenses, and someone ends up always putting in their own money, and yet the idea was yours, mine, ours, and ours meets all the bills, and now it's not enough to meet bills, then what do we do? So you need to visit your financial systems regularly to avoid misunderstandings and breakups. And he also said to stay honest. If you are earning a certain amount of money, be honest. Say, you know what? I'm earning 10 million, but I cannot trust you with my money. Be clear. Let it be clear to this person from the get go. Because if it's clear I won't be married to you not knowing about that bit about you. And I won't be marrying you expecting that once we are married, you start sharing, letting me in on your money. And then I don't see that happening, and that can cause a rift between us. So it is key that we stay honest about what our financial expectations are or what our expenses are. Now, also, she cautioned that we stay united because I don't know, money tends to divide us. We tend to be separated because of money. Because I earn so much, there is this couple that I was with, and the gentleman, because the woman was earning more, it can start off very okay where you are okay with the woman earning, and keeping haka money, like we call it in Uganda. But then you find out haka money is not really ka money, it's serious money. And it could really get you from one place to another. But it's not right now because you are earning less. And she's not forthright about her money. Dina says nowadays, before even dating, men first calculate their funds. So no way. Dina is interesting. I hope you guys are finding her interesting as well. That nowadays, even dating men, nowadays, before even dating, men first calculate their funds. So no way they want you to put their money together. Yet they come with the intention of detoothing a woman. In other words, Dina says men come with an intention of taking the woman's money as opposed to staying with her because they love her. And once the money is got, then they disappear or they find someone who they can spend it on. So Dina is right to some degree. Like I said, behind every financial decision is an experience. So Dina has got it. Been through it. So guys, those of you who are still listening, think about what Dina is also saying. But the lady that I was talking to also told me, the expert in this told me that the other thing we need to do is stay united. How can we be united if we have allowed finances to come between us? It has to be that money has no hold on us, that we are united. But if we are not united, then it is because of the money. You have yours, I have mine, but we are together. We are really not together, but we are doing life together and pretending to be together. If you're together, at some point you need to put that money together. I've seen many relationships. I've never seen couples that grow old together with different accounts. Those that stay together longer have joint accounts. So that's something to take home about accounts. Which one works best for you? I need to hear from you. We've dealt with all the different accounts, and I've heard from Dina, I've heard from Rogers, I've heard from Cedric, and I need to know from Bereket, which one works for you? Shaboya, which one works for you? Is it the joint account, the separate account, or the hybrid account? Because that's the third one we brought in. When things are falling apart, we start dealing with yours, mine, and ours, where we bring a certain percentage of our money, put it together, and meet bills. Now, joint accounts, separate accounts, hybrid accounts, I would go for the final reflection. What does the Bible say, faith-based rap, about finances? In Ecclesiastes 4:9, it says two are better than one. Does that mean also when it comes to money, merging all our money together? Dina, I need to hear that. In Ecclesiastes, it says two are better than one. Does that also involve our money? Separate accounts, period. Okay, now I get you. Because if it says two are better than one, that means if I'm alone and can save money and build a house. If we are together and put our money together, you bring your small, I bring my much, we put it together, we'll be able to build way faster than one person. That's how I look at it. And that's what I would get from two being better than one. And in Luke 14, verse 28, it says, count the cost before building. I also turned that to the Bible, to the physical sense. Does that apply to building a marriage too? Because before you settle down with someone, you need to count the cost before, you know, going out with this person, before dating, before proposing, before marrying them. You need to see, does this girl add value to me? Does this man have, do we have the same values? Do we have the same goals? Is this person trustworthy? Can I trust them with my money before we get married? Otherwise, we are really wasting. Sorry, my mic had gone off, and this time round, no one got to know. And Dina says, when the Bible says two are better than one, because they get warm. And oh, Cedric noted the sound. Thank you. I had already changed it. I hope it's on now and better. Otherwise, guys, the Bible said two are better than one. Okay, Dina says check the voice. I thought you guys had not noticed because I had to go off and get my mic so that I can continue. Otherwise, when the Bible says two are better than one, it's not only in keeping warm in bed. Guys, it's also two being if you want to go very far, go alone. If you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go farther, you need to go with others. Walks that you take alone, you can get tired. But walks you take with others, you find yourself going way, 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 way faster and farther than you would, ideally going alone. So same applies to saving. You save alone, you would get to your goal, but take a longer time. You save together, you'd get to your goals and take a shorter time. So I'd still say joint account better than separate account or hybrid account. So before, when it says count the cost before building, apply this to building a marriage. Before you propose to someone, before you say, can we start a relationship? First apply the cost. In other words, see how are her spending habits? What are her expectations? Do we have the same values? Have we got the same goals? Can I trust this person with my money? And then you try it. Because if we don't do that, that's why we are having all these issues with our relationships. You are with this one only to get her home. She was only good to look at and so terrible a person to live with. You feel like she's one that just acts as a leech, always sucking and sucking and sucking you dry, but never bringing anything to the table. So before, just like it says with building, that count your costs before building. Also, you can also think about this in a sense of marriage before you propose, before you get really deep with this person. You need to first gauge and see, is it someone I have goals with? Is it someone we have same values? Is it someone I can trust? If you find those are in the clear, then you go ahead and pursue that person. But we tend to do it in a reverse way where we want The looks come first, and then you look at what they've got on the account. And yet, us ladies, we just want to spend your money. You have to have it, we just have to come and spend it. Now, that kind of woman is also there, but how long can you live like that? I've never seen a couple that is old. Those who have been married 40 years, 30 years, big time. Thank you, Cedric. Those who have been married for a long time with separate accounts, they always have it all together in one pool. I don't know at what stage that becomes okay to do, that they always do it. But while we are young, we have ambitions, we have goals, we are like, in case it doesn't work out, I'm off with less injuries to leak. Dina says when there is joint account, respect is limited because everyone because I know that we all contribute. So like those long ago men, they can't have that loud say. So Dina, you're trying to say that there is when you when there is joint account, respect is limited. So you respect a man because he paid your bill. Is that what you're trying to say? You respect a man because he gave you money for hair? Or do you respect him because you saved and you put money together and were able to do something together? I, for one, think that when we work together and we build our money together, our finances are put together, we respect each other. You will come home comfortably, knowing that whether you bring something or you don't, you are honored, you are respected at home, you are loved. In the lockdown, men didn't want to stay home. They could not provide. And yet the dynamics before were that men provide. They bring in something every single day. But then there came a time where they were not working and expected to bring food at home that they could not bring. And so you saw the dynamics change. The women were pulling from their, woman's bag and treating men really a terrible way. Why? Because they were not in position to provide. And that's how we see them, that they should always be providing. So when it comes to us bringing something to the table, it's reverse and it's hostile treatment to the men. I think it is wrong. I really do think it is wrong. But if we put money together, even if the lockdown had happened and we're keeping our money together, guess what would happen? We would still be able to live amicably at home because from the pool that we kept together, we would get money and be able to run our homes. We women are supposed to be given. That is all Dina is saying. Oh my goodness. She demands that she is given. I wonder what Dina you bring to the table as well in your relationship. Because it has to be you are given, but also you give back. But if you're not giving back and you're just receiving, an example, this is my bowl and this is my cup. If all the time all it's doing is pouring in, it will come to a time where I have nothing to give and I shake everything and there's nothing more left. And guess what? You end up having nothing to receive from me because I've given it all. And it's your turn to now fill me up and give me something. So we are not meant to be given, purely given. That's why God did not get us from the hands. Otherwise, would be, you know, uh, women meant to be getting from hands. Because we came from hands, we are supposed to just receive and take. Yeah, but He got us from the ribs, so we are supposed to support. We are supposed to support the men so that they can make it in life. And Dina says, I bring love. And the men bring what? They bring love. They bring money as well. we are got from the ribs. And that's something we all ladies have to pick. We were got from the ribs so that we are supporters. We support our men. In other words, he comes with his much money, say like 100 million. I come with my 2 million. We put it together and it becomes 102 million, and we create a beautiful thing. That is supporting. Yeah. But he didn't get us from the feet that the men can trample on us. Neither did he get us from the head where we can overlook and see everything they do, but from here, from the ribs, so that we can support our men and they become better and we are able to have beautiful relationships at the end of the day. That's how I see it. I honor your opinion, Dina, because that's how you see things, but I beg to differ on that one. Now, I would also emphasize unity, communication, and stewardship over any specific method. Whether you've chosen separate accounts, I would emphasize that if there is communication between you and stewardship whereby you have each other's back, that would work. But if it's not, then none of those methods that we're choosing that are different would support or help our relationships thrive. And no method is holy. Dina says, now if a man has 3 wives, are those ribs? Those are, we have our weaknesses as human beings where we do certain things that we are not supposed to do. But that doesn't mean they are the right things to do in the first place. People do them out of their own weaknesses. They like if you find a man who has, like you've said, Dina, 3 wives, a thick one, a tall one, a short one. This is a person who is just greedy, wants everything. Yeah? Even in the Muslim sect. Oh, Olive, how are you, my dear? And you say it's two-way. If someone is transparent, let me read what Olive says. From the beginning, it's okay to have it. Oh, yeah. So Olive says if someone is transparent from the beginning, that is why I said regarding finances, guys, we talk about money early in a relationship. If we do not talk about money and how we are going to be handling money, it will create problems in the long run. We set expectations clearly so that our relationships have a chance to survive. We review our financial systems and regularly to see if they are still working. And we stay honest and stay united. How do we get united? Is by keeping our funds together. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've not seen any old couple. I'm talking 60 plus, 70 plus, who are still, fighting over money. I've not, because their money is put together. Already they've come to a joint account. This whole hybrid kind of approach, separate accounts, is working with the Gen Zs, with this other generation, our generation, where we think, our money is more important. But there's an age that you get to and really see that you're not chasing after anything. You love this person enough to trust them with your money. The bad thing is we realize that stage when we are old. But I happen to learn from a couple that really, really blessed my heart growing up. They were a couple, Ron and Charlie, Americans. These people were a blessing. And I learned from them. I don't know whether because I got to meet them when they were in their 70s, that I learned they were keeping money together. But guess what? They had been doing this since they got married. And Papa Ron went to be with the Lord. But before he did, he used to do the same. So I grew up thinking joint marriage without even anyone saying it to me, because that's what I saw. I saw people who loved each other and kept their money together. And Mama Shirley used to stay at home all the time. She was a full-time housewife, while the husband was an engineer. So he brought in all the bread, and the woman worked to make sure that she built a home. Now, I've never seen a couple old that, you know, still has the hybrid account where yours, mine, ours. No, it is always ours. So I hope it's something we can learn, that we don't allow money to come between us and we lose focus on what is important, which is each other and our relationships. Because once that comes into play, we have no relationship standing. And Olive says financial discipline is not a must in a relationship. This has to be communicated straight away. If you notice any changes in the partner, kindly communicate and see a way forward. Yes, I agree with Olive. Whatever Olive is saying is, I think either it's working for her or she has been through it. Like I said, behind every financial um, every financial behavior is an experience. There is an experience. Someone has gone through something. That is why they are dealing with money that way. Behind every financial decision is a human experience. At least you've gone through something. So I think Oliver's been through it and is talking from experience. And I hope we are learning a thing or two, guys. No method is holy on its own. I'm not saying joint account is the best. No method is holy on its own. What matters is mutual understanding. You have to understand each other. You know your partner. You know they are not good with money, or you know they are stingy. You know your partner. And it's best that we know each other before we go deeper into, choosing which method to go with, whether it's joint or separate or hybrid. We have to know each other. We have to understand each other. Understanding shared vision and God at the center would help us. Because if we all have a vision of or a dream of buying land or of living a certain way, you know, driving a certain car, if that's our goal, we will work towards it. But if we don't have the same, we don't understand each other, and we do not have shared vision, and God is not at the center, chances are we will take our own way. And over time, these things will fall on us. Because, like I said, there is that hybrid one where you have your account, I have my account, and we have that joint account, which meets the bills. Like I said, when the man runs out of job, we women tend to be good at saving money. I mean, I can be given 20,000 for lunch at home, to prepare lunch, and I prepare lunch at 15,000 or 10,000, and I make an amazing meal, and the man would never know I didn't use up all that money. So I save the 10,000. Guess what? If I do that over time, I would have a lot of money for myself. But if we have a joint account, I would tell you the exact amount of money we need to pull off that nice meal at the end of the day for lunch. But if we do not have a joint account where every money goes in there and we draw just to serve lunch, I will draw, and guess what? To show you that it is finished when actually I'm putting it somewhere else. And we tend to do that a lot as ladies. We really tend to, because we are trying to secure tomorrow. There are no guarantees about you guys being in the picture and keeping us in there for the long run. So we tend to do that. But one way you can get a woman to be totally devoted is getting her to know, being transparent financially, whether it is you, woman, who is earning a lot, whether it's the man, being transparent and introduced early in a relationship, it would help us and help our financial relationship. So if tonight helped you think deeper about love and money, and please, you go ahead and like, go ahead and share, go ahead and subscribe, and share the link, because on here we drop truths with love every week. Every week we drop truths with love every weeknight on Friday, here on Digesting the Bible with Winfred. So you can feel free to tune in every Friday, and you'll be surprised what topics we are going to be discussing. There are quite a number of topics that can be handled. I don't know who else is watching, where you're watching from. I'm so glad. Bereket, you tuned in. I'm glad Olive, you tuned in. Dina, Rogers, Cedric, Shaboya, you guys have been a blast because you have been dropping comments and sharing the link. There's a WhatsApp group where we just talk about the topic for the next day. And in case you're interested in joining, the number is +256 762 599 138. There we discuss the topics. We make friends. There is quite a number of people on there. And if you're one who wants to meet people, probably people of the same mind who listen to the same things, and there we check up on each other. Are you alone? Especially those who are abroad, you could make really good friends. Those who are in the diaspora, those who are in UAE, those who are, you know, up country, Friday night, this is a place. You go ahead and subscribe. You'll be able to get notification of when the lives will be on, and you also be able to get access all there is about this channel, because we don't only do Friday nights, we do also midweek and weekly and daily videos where we read the Bible in case you want to know more about the Bible, and we just grow together through the reading of the Word of God. I'm so glad that you've tuned in. So let me know at the end of the day, before we close off, which one works for you? Olive, which one works for you? Is it the joint account? Is it the separate account? Or is it, the hybrid kind? Which one works in your relationship? And how have you found any of these that we've talked about? Has it opened your eyes to something? Because I, for one, I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't share what I've not have tried. I think the joint account is the best thing that you can go for, because it allows you to be financially dependent, free. Because when we love each other, we honor and respect each other. So if you love music, we need to sit down. You want to buy a music, so like you want to buy a poofer or system, whatever it is that you're into music. If I love you that much, we would sit and agree. While you get your music system, I'll be able to get my kitchenware. You come to an agreement of some sort. It's not necessarily, dictating who should have what. That's the beauty of joint account. You agree, and whatever you want to get, you can get quickly, because resources are put together and you're able to get whatever it is that you want quickly and easily. That's what I can say about joint accounts. And Dina says separate accounts, period. Aha. Remember, we say behind every financial decision is an experience. Dina has had an experience and she says it's separate accounts. So I want to hear from Olive. Which one would you go for? Is it separate accounts or is it joint accounts? Rogers, as we conclude, Cedric, Shaboya, TJ, I don't know whether TJ is on as well, Jasper, Lillian, I've not heard from you. I hope you have been on. Komhanji says both. Both meaning what? Is it separate and joint account, or are you talking about the hybrid type where you have your money and he has his money, but you have some money that works for both of you? Is that what you're talking about? If that is it, please be clear. You said both. Both what? Both accounts, as in yours, mine, and the hybrid one. Okay, okay. That is good, because at the end of the day, whatever works for us is what we go for. The only I've never seen older couples with any of these accounts. I don't know whether they are coming up because we are younger and we have less trust, or because we are younger and we want more out of life. I don't know. Anyone you go to, those people celebrating a big time anniversaries, like, 30, 40 years, they have one account. They don't have many, like the hybrid type or the separate account. They have one. And when they fall sick, they have this one person. Now, Dina talked about the Muslim people who have a man having more than one wife or having three of them. I Do you know that even in the Muslim community, if you got older, you would pick out of those many wives one woman to get old with, not all of them, because you stop being, that energetic, and so you give up on some and stay with just one. So that means even with finances, you start dropping off a few, walls, and it gets to that place where money becomes something that you value together. And so progress from there on becomes joint. But the thing is, we do it at a later stage as opposed to initially when we are starting. I'm thinking when they say the older you get, the wiser you become. So does that mean you become wiser, but when you start choosing, it's okay to have it put together? Or is it that you're now getting old and weak and you need to get a way of securing and showing this person that you're committed to them? I really think we can revise it and start early, because if it's going to end up that way, why not do it early? It's just that we are not yet sure who it is that we are with. That is why I say, just like you compute the cost before building, you need also to compute the cost before marrying. Before you marry, before you place that ring on that finger, look at her, see if you've got the same goals, same values, and see if you've got trust between the two of you. Because if you do, then what is keeping you away? That marks the end of our podcast, guys. You've been amazing. If you've liked the channel, if you've been blessed, if you've had a good chat, go ahead and like, go ahead, subscribe, and share the link. Otherwise, we are going to call it an end, because unless you have something to say, guys, unless you have some area you want to share, I'm about to call it in for tonight. You have been amazing, and thank you so much. I pray that next Friday there is no power cut and we are all healthy and well and can be able to have this podcast again. The topic of discussion will be shared on the WhatsApp group ahead of time and debated on the WhatsApp group. So feel free to join the group. If you're interested, just drop a comment on WhatsApp on that number +256 799. Sorry, +256 758 599 138. And Cedric says thank you for hosting, and he also says good night to all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I needed to know who else is watched and who has been with us. And those of you who have just got on and we are concluding, there is a rerun of this. You can go ahead and just watch a rerun and drop in the comments. Otherwise, that number for the live podcast is +256 762 599 138. When you drop your comment on that one, I'll know you want to join the WhatsApp group, and there you can meet friends and chat. There you can build on your support system, enlarge your support system, because we need each other. We need friends, and you can laugh a bit. You don't have to be alone and feel alone when there are people who can, crack you up, encourage you, and people you can share with opinions. And on that group as well, we check on you in case you're not able to be on live. We can check on you and see how you're doing. Otherwise, guys, until next time, I don't know where my camera person is. I'm just waiting for them to come and take us off. Otherwise, you can feel free to drop a comment, say anything. Dina, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for those comments. Rogers, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those comments. Cedric, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for the comments. Chaboya, thank you so much. Olive, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for the comments. I'm waiting for the camera person, but if they take long, I'll have to do it myself. Otherwise, until next time, bye bye, guys, and stay blessed.